behind. Mr. Mast, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I appreciate it. Ms. Hill Gabriel, I have just a little bit of dialogue I'd like to have with you. It's good to see you. I want to thank you for your advocacy, the Audubon Society's work, and everything that you all do on behalf of the Everglades. I do very much appreciate it. This summer, Audubon they're making statements constantly, but Audubon made a statement about the threat of harmful algal blooms. Everybody knows I continue to work on this on the WRDA, the Water Resources Development Act, and on subcommittee and full committee. It's plaguing my community, as you well know. So the statement was made that exposed fish die quickly, and consuming contaminated fish or shellfish, it's dangerous for birds and dolphins and other terrestrial mammals. So I guess what I'm asking in talking about the statement that's Audubon has made is, are the birds the canaries in the coal mine here?
Thank you, Congressman Mast. And of course, as always, thank you for your passion for Everglades restoration, and especially, continuing to hold up the plight of the communities along the St. Lucie estuary in particular. I think before getting to that, I just always have to share, I feel like I was able to share with the subcommittee a few years ago, my own personal experience. It's hard to articulate and explain the experience of being around one of these toxic algae blooms. In my own experience, I lived in South Florida, but I did not live along that estuary, and I was up there visiting and had really never experienced anything like it, that I was across the street from any body of water, like where I thought was pretty far away, and opened the car door, and having that rush to your senses immediately. I thought I parked next to a dumpster, was my real experience with the odor, but really feeling like your eyes are on fire. It truly is hard to articulate until you've experienced it. So just want to thank you again for trying to articulate what those experiences are for folks who've never had that firsthand. And for me, it's truly only strengthened my resolve for focusing and being an advocate for Everglades restoration. And we know that absolutely toxic algae blooms, have impact on the species that birds rely on for their food sources. Similarly, we know that when there's excess, nutrients in waterways, it changes the vegetation that the birds rely on, and that's part of why we've been such advocates for trying to remove excess nutrients throughout the entire ecosystem. Starting in the Northern Everglades all the way down to being huge supporters over the years of the really monumental work that the state of Florida has done to clean nutrients out of the water before it reaches some of those places where birds are more prevalent and relying on that clean water source. And I think that, some of the progress that has been made has focused on that, but there's still a long way to go. And that is part of why we, keep focusing on, getting projects finished that are in the pipeline for Everglades restoration, while also looking to advance the ones that are still ahead, like finalizing that Central Everglades project and the Everglades Agricultural Area Reservoir that we know will help hold some of the water, have it go through those filtration marshes, and then continue its path south into the Southern Everglades and Florida Bay, because all of those different areas are different are important for different species of birds. And so water quality is absolutely prevalent and an important issue for birds, but it's also things like the balance of freshwater and saltwater that can dramatically increase, and the challenges that birds have in finding a food source. And at Audubon, last thing I'll say is, we've been lucky enough in a lot of places like in Florida Bay to actually study the forage fish that birds rely on, and how the bird populations have changed over the years for sometimes more than 100 years. So we're able to see the impact of those changes as they happen and use that. And that really, for us, guides our positions and our advocacy in advancing Everglades restoration.
All right. Would you describe that situation of opening up your door Would you work in the middle of that for 10 hours a day?
I will say that I went home, and as someone who had little children, thought about, the impact that, of course, we call, we dubbed things the lost summer, but truly thinking about the fact that I was able to go home, right? But others don't have that as their home. And that has stuck with me for a long time. Would I let my kids play outside? No. Would it be just such a hard experience to imagine folks who have to endure those conditions at those times when those blooms are so active.
Thank you
Thanks.
very
Thank you, Chairwoman.